Namaste and welcome back. This in this video, I want to discuss about Kundalini awakening process and the dark side of the soul. How why am I calling it as a dark side of the soul or your own dark side when Kundalini is awakening? And a lot of people doesn't know that this is a dark side within themselves. When Kundalini is awakening, it's gonna put you there where you will be helpless. There is no way to deal with it because there is a way to deal with it, but it's kind of like you have to. There is no steps to deal with these things because you will be put in a state where you cannot think about finding the steps to deal with it because it will happen all of the sudden. It's like pulling the carpet beneath you all of the sudden without you noticing it, and you'll fall down. It will happen. It's with Kundalini arising, and it's like you're going to your old self of all the troubles and problems and the abuses you faced in the dark side, which can be really daunting, which can be really hard to deal with, because most of the times we don't have people to discuss about this thing because we just don't know how to explain what's happening within us because it's an inner journey. You're going to the other side of yourself. All the positivity and all the things you built up so far in your life to impress people pleasing. If you are in an abusive family, there will be people pleasing. um, um, you will do the people pleasing thing because we needed to. I was raised in a family where my one of my parents was a narcissist, and my mom was a narcissist, and I attracted the same person as my wife, kind of like same person, narcissistic personality, because I was raised in that zone. So I'm used to being abused since a child, and in order for me, I was never enough. Um, for my parents, I need to get good grades, and they compared me with really bad things. They even said that they should have killed me in their pregnancy because um, I was not getting good grades in my school. The people they are comparing to, they compared with my cousins and their my dad's friends and their friends' children and all that. I was a lot of bullied and compared and all that when I was a kid. So when these things happen, you will become a people pleaser because that is all you know. Because you're trying to uh, have a safer zone in your own home when you're growing up. You have to do all these things just for you to exist in the home when you're growing up, and you will be never you there is no end for that. Whatever you do, they'll throw you something else. They'll throw you next to them, next level and next level and next level. It never satisfies. It's just like, you always continuously doing something to get them satisfied your entire life. That's what happened with my life before I had all my awakening and everything. So all the things, then they'll put something like, if you do this and you're a good person, if you do that then you're a good person. You'll do everything for you to someone else to tell you that you are a good person. You'll start doing all these things, everything, till the point you stress yourself. You can take a lot of abuse. I'm a super empath, so I can take a lot of abuse to the point where I can get so close to my own death. To that point, I can bear the abuse. So when I was learning all these things, and once I identified that, okay, this dark side, I did not like it initially when it began. It's like, why is this happening to me? Like, why? I thought I would have a beautiful life with the person I was married to, and I had a good job and everything. Like, I had a master's degree and everything was perfect in that zone. In that zone, that was. But that perfectness, or the way I thought that is perfectness, was not my thing. It was forced onto me by my parents, by my relatives and all that. or the way I learned it from them. And this is all me trying to be that, okay, I am a person too. I deserve respect and love too. From a very young age, from like, I don't even remember when I started doing these things. When probably I'm very young, like probably maybe 40 years old or something. And those memories, I became a pleaser since then for a long time. And I find people who are in problems. This is how I make friends. This is how I made friends so far. Like, I find people who are in problems and try to fix the problem and make myself better, or make myself feel better, or that make myself in a place where, okay, I'm okay too. I'm a human. I deserve some respect too. So I do this thing, and whenever I go, I try to like help the problem, analytically think about what that person is going through, or how can I help the situation, even though it's draining my whole fucking energy down, and I'm killing my health. I aged faster, probably 4 to 5 years faster in the past 3 to 5 years. It just my age is doubled the way I look right now. It just doubled and all that because of the stress I'm putting on my body, and this all this thing happened, and but in the dark zone, that's the place I found all these things are happening. All this, whatever, why, the deeper question of why I put myself here. So what is the reason? Like, why am I here? Like, what caused me to be here, or in this zone of this pain and this helpless situation? Why am I here? So that the deeper questions begin, and definitely my Kundalini awakening helped me a lot, because the intensity of seeking was not there without the Kundalini rising, because I was on the surface level but not going deeper within myself, because I don't wanted to open that book of that pain from my entire life. My parents giving me bullshit for my entire life. So, or my relatives or whoever they did, I became like a person where everyone took me granted for in my childhood. Like, oh, he's just existing like a dog or something. So it was like that to me. It was like, no one is respecting me. What should I do now? Like, in the sense, I need to get 90% or 99% grades. Like, what is, when this thing end and people start at least saying hi to me in a normal way. Even if they don't respect, that's okay, that's fine. Just in a normal way, in my family, in my relatives, I didn't feel that. There are only few people who helped me when everyone was saying that I'm a waste piece of life. I'm not getting good grades in my school, and I'm just wasting my life by not reading properly and not learning properly. There are few of my relatives who were like, he'll do good. It's just, don't be hard on them, hard on him, and all that. Those are the people I seek little bit of. It's like, they put some cream or some medicine on the wounds I'm having every day with the life I had. So, but in my parents' view, they are doing it for my benefit. They don't get all this thing. They're just doing it for me to become better, or earn more money, and like, be rich, like a rich guy in a society and all that. So their push is for that. They only know in that level. They don't know what's going on there. They don't know who they're abusers, or they just don't know all these things. They don't know one of my parents is they know that my mom has mental issues or just a narcissist, but my dad knew it. But he was a spineless guy. He just didn't stand up for himself properly. So I was in there was like this constant conflict and arguments between my mom and dad every time. For me to settle it down, for me to exist in that, I had to do a lot just to like keep the home a little calmer. So once I got into my dark zone, I identified my problem, all the problems, like all wherever. Why am I here right now in this situation? What are the reasons? What are the causes? What are my actions? I went back to 20 years of my life, 20 to 25 years ago. It was amazing to see that I still have those memories very crystal clear. when my parents were hitting me so hard, and I was in the corner near a wall, like fearing that they would kill me. So this all these things is just like it just came up, and initially I did not like it. I didn't open that door because it was tough to deal with. It is just so much pain. I did my best to not go there. And because it's like, it's you're opening the door which can shake the shit out of you for a long time. For like months and years, who knows, I might be depressed forever. So I have these fears for not opening that door. So, but Kundalini awakening and the dark side, when I was in that, I had to. There's no other way. I focused on outward things, making people laugh, and like, going out for movies and parties and dancing and whatnot, going to festivals, everything. I did everything not to go inside. I did my best. And my mind and me were not letting me go in depth into myself. But Kundalini doesn't work like that. When it starts rising, it'll change. It'll just turn the whole thing upside down, because you are upside down. You're actually balancing now. That's like we are upside down, but when Kundalini arises, it'll reverse the process. So that's what that will happen, and it will be painful. It's lifelong worth of pain, and worth of abuse, worth of insult, worth of shame. You whatever the compressed feelings you have to deal with that. Your ignorance at some point in time, your intelligence is telling you something, but your ability to not take decisions on the base of intelligence, but we chose the weakness when we are making the decisions, because that felt good, because we are used to that abuse, we are used to that pain, whatever people imposed on us. You'll see this happening when you see, especially when you see women who are masculine, who want to be the man of the relationship. They also got abused by someone in their parenting, like from their mom or from their dad. They have to put up this hardness so that they can exist, because it's not theirs. It is not there. A woman should, general tendency of a feminine woman is to be in a surrendering state, to be in a loving state, and to be beautiful and having a calmer self. That's what a feminine woman should be, or a woman should be in general. The basic foundation of a man and woman. And what happened with them? What happened? I noticed it with people, with my friends, and the observance I had, and the intelligence I had after my awakening, and the way I taught myself these things. Then they have to put up a stronger self, because their mom or their dad was trying to make them as a guy, trying to put situations in front of her, like playing football, playing that, or playing this, which just guys should do. And they whatever they want to do, whatever that person, that female, that woman wanted to do, she'll compress that and go with whatever their parents are saying, and they'll put up this masculine zone where they kind of like they'll act like a man, which is kind of imbalanced. So this can happen with some women who have abusive parents, or vice versa. And feminine man can be like that too. They're one of their parents, or like, well, how we got our nature is by observing our primal, like, our parents are our first role models. We copy from them. Unconsciously we do that when we are growing up. We can see how they were brought up. When we see a person, how their parents are, you can really see them. So in the dark side, once I surrendered to this, it is hard, because I cannot function like a normal, even for normal things. Like, I had a panic attack choosing on a Sunday morning. I don't even know what a panic attack is at the time. Oh my God. Now I'm like laughing at everything, of course. So, but at the time, I'm shitting my pants probably because it's like this. It's like, I just woke up and having my Sunday routine and playing some music, and I couldn't decide if I want to have a cup of coffee or tea. This is like 2 3 years ago, because when I was drinking coffee at the time, then I had this fight going on in my head for coffee and a tea, and I literally collapsed in my kitchen. I just sat down because I cannot bear this in my head. And at that point, I understood that okay, something definitely like going deeper. It is not how I am. I never felt that before, and I didn't even know it's called as a panic attack because I never had a taste of it. I don't know what panic attack is, even though when I had panic attacks in my childhood, but I don't know how to define it. I thought every child is going through in their families. Every parents are beating their asses down, and like it's how everyone is. I thought this is pretty common for every person. That's what I thought when I was a kid. So I do not have an idea of what a healthy family is. I just don't have that because I never had that in my life. So all these things started coming up in the dark zone once I surrendered. Till the point I surrendered, it was hell. To the point when I got to the point where it was extreme and I had to let go. I'm like, all right, man, I can die right here if I need to. I surrender. I just can't take it anymore. I was right in my meditative space right here. I really love the space I have here because this is where I kind of broke into pieces and rebuild myself piece by piece. So yeah, I really enjoyed this home and all that, and it has good energy. So once, to the point where before my surrenderance happened, I surrendered after 1 year. So in the sense, it's like how can I explain this? It's like till 1 year I just didn't. I did everything not to go in and not to surrender. I'm a tough guy. Yeah. Right. So I had this tough guy costume put on. So I can deal with this thing. I'm a man. So, but it's crushing my whole life. It changed my entire life. I cannot function for very basic things. Going out and getting grocery was like, oh my god, I had to think for a week to do that. I was in that state. I don't know how to say hi to people at the time. If someone says how are you, I cannot reply to them without having tears in my eyes. When at my work, when just walking into my cube and people say hi, how are you doing, and it was so hard for me to pull myself together and say I'm doing okay and walk away faster, so that they don't see my emotions changing over there for a very simple question. And most of the time people will ask you for a common answer, and I'm not a person who's going to give common answer. If you ask me how are you doing, I'm going to open my book. So it's just, now I'm not going to say I'm doing good. Yeah, I don't do that. It's like for people who are expecting that, for people who generally just want to say hi for just saying hi, they don't mean it really. They just like, just throw something at you. Yeah, I have to sometimes. You know what? It's just like I don't want to be an asshole, look like an asshole at the time. So, but in general, if someone asks me how are you doing, and I will say whatever it occurs to me at that point of time, I would not go with a common answer. Then they'll shock me like, okay, I don't want out to know all that. And if you ask, I'll tell you. So that rebelness was there, always there since my childhood, because that's the only thing which made me survive so far. All these things survived by my own. There was no one else to help me in the deepest, darkest pit I was in. There were no one else who can guide me or help me, because I had no friends in this in the Kundalini awakening process who can guide me. And I had few friends who ran away from me when they saw that, oh, this guy is going down. They just literally ran away. So it happened for a good reason. I recovered a little bit, then they contacted me and said that, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, you know what, just let it go. Now I can't condolence your guiltness. I don't want to do that. I know how you were seeking to like soothe your guiltness by me. Now I don't do that, so I don't want to. You didn't do it. You didn't help me for a reason, and that's cool. It's okay with me. I understand that. Everyone, you're free to do that. I'm not expecting help from you because I never asked for help. You are the one who offered it, and also you're the one who ran away. So it's like that. It happened with people. That also showed me who are my real friends. This one good thing happened is who are the people who are there for me without me asking, or who just wanted me to be healthier, or just like checking on me once a while. So that really helped me. Like on that dark spot, that's when you get to see who your real friends are, who your real people are. And most of the times we will be left off alone. We will be isolated in that time. That's meant to happen, because you will not get your energy will not flow in what the other people are doing. The people who are with you, or with you are in touch with them, you're not going to think about what's going with them, because your energy is completely focused inward. Now you gotta go into the depths of the pain and process it. So 1 year I denied all that, and then finally it happened in a very peaceful manner. It's like it blew my mind the way it was. It's amazingly peaceful. And I found out that this is what I'm rejecting my entire life. What the fuck? Like what? If it is that peacefully happening to me, and why am I rejecting it? But surrenderance has to happen for us to go there. Your mind will tell you that you're going mad, or your life is done, you don't have a purpose now. It will create a lot of fear, and it will magnify the fears, and be because there will be a lot of situations where we cannot answer what's really going on, because your intelligence is way down, your conscience is way down, and your ability to defend yourself is not doesn't even exist. Your self-worth is crushed. You're crushing in every way. Things are crushing you. It's just putting you down. So there is no way how to deal with this at the time other than surrendering. This is the thing I found out. Surrendering is amazing. It's an amazing tool. Or there is nothing else to do other than, because something higher is knocking your door. Something a higher consciousness, or your own higher self, is pulling your attention towards it. And we might not see that at the time, in the darkest, deepest pit we were in. We cannot see that, because all we see is pain, all we see is rejection, all we see is us not able to handle things properly. That's all we see at the time. But once we surrender, your own wisdom will open for you. Your pain will start teaching you why you are here, this why this happened, what are the reasons. It will guide you into learning things and finding articles, and whatever you are seeking, the pain you have, or the situation you are in a narcissistic relationship like me, or you had a psychopath partner, or you had a very bad childhood which is extremely abusive, or sexual abusive, or whatever the intensity you have which is hiding inside you, and you pushed it down. Once we surrender to that, then automatically you will be guided to right things. You will find, all of a sudden you'll find the right video for you, which is just waiting there for you to watch. It'll make a whole perception change about relationships, about intimacy, about love, about breakups, about family problems, about money, about careers, about anything, about education, about health. All these things, you'll slowly get in there. It's like things will come to you. You don't have to go for that. They will walk into you. Right kind of people, right kind of music, everything comes up. But that surrenderance and the period of time, how much long it is, depends on how hurt you are, as a child, and how much people might have hurt you and put you in a zone where you were so helpless. Because these are the things which a lot of people cannot handle it, because we were not trained to handle it, or we don't know how to handle it other than bearing the abuse. So if you are in a dark zone, I highly respect you, because you're just entering into yourself. I This is my wish and my blessing, or anything you might consider my prayer, for you to have the experience and for you to have whatever you needed to see there. Please be patient with it, surrender to that, and be easy on yourself. Let things go. There are some higher things which we cannot control, because your higher self is choosing that for you. You cannot neglect it, or put it down by going to a movie or focusing on any outward thing. Will not help it. You have to go in there. Go to the depths of the pain, all the situations, how much ever time it might take. We have to process that thing before we find our bliss body, before we find our true nature, which is bliss. Before all that happens, we definitely have to like go through all these things. It will, but once we passed these things, and life will be like, all the pain you have processed will become your strength. It will become your strength. It's like you'll not buy the bullshit anymore. It'll just take a second to say no. You don't think about, it's like, if you're an empath, please protect yourself. You need to learn how to protect yourself, because we can go to the point where we can die but still want to help people. That is not acceptable. Seriously, that's not how we should be. We shouldn't hurt ourselves for helping someone else. There's no one should do that. If it is hurting you emotionally, mentally, or physically, we walk away. Walk away without thinking. Lose that person. No big deal. There are so many awesome people out there. So you yourself are awesome, first of all. Once you touch your spot, then you will lose this need that you need people around you. Once you touch your divinity, people will need you. This will happen. So you will show the light to the people, because you bared a lot of pain. You know what it is. You were in the dark spot. You found your own light, which you would never put down for anything. That is the greatest gift in entering this dark zone. Is you'll find your own strength, your own possibilities, your own light in that darkness. Once you found it, there is no turning back. You lose fears. Number one thing will happen is all the fears you have, it'll just collapse in front of you. There'll be no fears. It's like it's very less fears, and you will fear to make new fears. It's like, okay, it might happen gradually, slowly it might happen. But if you're doing a good meditation practice, then your awareness will go higher. Then you make a fear, it'll happen. It did happen with me. When I make a fear, I make that fear and be fearful for some time, whatever the time is. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour. I'm in that fearful state. But my awareness is rising day by day. What happens is, then I'll identify that, okay, where does this fear start? It started from right here, and I made all this imagination with the graphics and amazing beautiful surroundings and everything to make myself fearful, and I just shake in that fear. And finally I found that, okay, this is what my mind is making for me, and I need to change that into a different zone. It'll get better and better and better and better. The moment you start making fear, just in the first 1 to 2 seconds, you'll identify that your mind is doing it, and you let it go. This will happen slowly. It's a process where we learn easily. It's everyday practice. It'll get better and better and better. After once you are in the state of that if you touch the bliss in your personality, if you touch your divine spot, your fear will generally go. It just for a while it'll just go, but it'll come back, it'll go, it'll come back, it'll go. But if your meditation practice is deepening, if your practice is, if your routine is proper, with the right kind of meditation techniques, which your body or your mind got pulled towards it, and you learned those things and you got initiated. Initiation means when a person teaches you something, when a guru or when a teacher teaches you a meditation technique, and you were in meditation. You were not just trying to be in meditation. You were in it. Once you experience what meditation is, that is initiation. So once the initiation, if the initiation is from a right person, it'll definitely help, because it's an energy transfer. So find a person who your soul is getting pulled towards, and your mind will say that that's not the right person, but your heart will say that that is the right person to go. That's when I choose. Like, my mind will run away from that person. It's like, oh my God, because your mind understands that if you do that, you'll get more control on your mind. It'll run away. Vipassana, and for Shambhavi Mahamudra, my mind is just running away. It created probably thousands of reasons for me to not to do it, and I listen to them and let it go. I listen to them and let it go. It's like something is playing in the background, and you don't want to listen to that. It's just there though, something like that. So if your practice is deepening enough, and if your routine, you continuing your routine, this will become better and better. Like every day, your life will become more easier handling this kundalini energy, and how it's going, how it is rising in your body, and with the rise, how your mood is changing, how your ability to perceive is changing, how your habits are changing. You will be more attentive to this. And for me, the dark side was the best thing ever happened to me. It is the best thing. It relieved me from all my life's worth of pain, worth of abuse I bared, and the insult I bared, and the pain I was like holding it, and kind of like multiplying that and making it like a suffering for me. Every day I suffered. My dark side is the one I processed. It is me being with myself. There is nothing like it. If you taste that thing, it's like the love and compassion will flow for sure, and the love for animals or plants. It became, I became, when I understood my first. There were many experiences happened with my Kundalini experience. When I couldn't sleep for 2 days, that's when I understood that okay, something deep is changing my entire system. It's just not my mind doing it, or because I'm not even having caffeine at the time for me to wake up. I'm just I just became a vegetarian normally, because I can understand I can't put a dead body in my body. It's just so clear. It's like I cannot put something dead in my body, something which has emotions, an animal which has emotions towards. I can't put that emotions in my body. That emotions are stored in muscles. It's called muscle memory. One thing led to another things, and it's all the health things happened, and gradually my kundalini itself did so many changes without me practicing them, without me putting effort towards them. But for me to going to that point, I had to bear a lot of pain, bear a lot of agitation, a lot of uncontrolledness of my own energy. I don't know how to guide that proper. I didn't know how to like channel it, or but that's a period. Every person who is having the kundalini experience will have that, because your old self is literally dying in front of you, and you can feel that, and your mind is clinging to that dying personality, your dying identity. It's gonna rip you apart. It's gonna be hard. But once you pass the zone, it's like okay, I can see why that happened now. I can see, and I'm very thankful for that, because my that dark side is the one which is making me build my life. The way I'm visioning my life for the rest of my life is the the energy and that strength and that awareness which that dark side gave me, because you have to process that. It's like, don't fear for that. If there will be fears, but if you're put yourself in a safe zone, in the sense, if you're in your home or wherever you think that uh, you can cry, you can show your emotions by yourself, put yourself in that zone and remind yourself that you are physically all right. No one is coming and hurting you. You put yourself in the zone. Whenever the fear comes to you, or whenever you are in the dark side processing it, remind yourself that you are safe. You are safe here. You're having a painful experience right now from the past. You're dealing with it so that you can let it go. It's going to be hard to remind yourself when you are in the zone, in the depth of the darkness, but whenever you're out of the darkness, whenever you're functioning like at least like a normal person doing your work and all that, whenever you come out of it, take some time and then remind yourself that, okay, next time next time when it happens, I want to remind myself that I'm physically all right and no one is hurting me. My mind is just bothering, and I need to get in and get myself, my all that pain out of my system, all that compressed and repressed feelings out of me. And you once you tell yourself for enough time, then what happen is when you're entering the dark zone, you'll get excited. It happened to me because the more I told myself that, okay, I'm not physically, no one is physically hurting me. I'm just here with myself in my meditation spot. It's like I'm having this deeper experience, of course, because I compressed all those feelings. The more I said this to myself, and once I entered that deeper spot, once I understood and surrendered and understood the benefit of each dark experience I had every day, it was like probably months. I was in that zone for months. Every day coming home from work and starting crying. It was my routine, became my routine for a long time. And once I processed all that, it it made me lighter and lighter. For the first 1 month, it was tough. 1 month worth of dealing with the darkness gave me some lightness in my body, in my head. It's like I felt a little more lighter than what I was before. With the pain, it was so heavy, and it became lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, to the point when I started being in the dark zone, I get excited, like, okay, I'm gonna learn something new today. It's gonna happen. I let it happen. I let my whole being getting tingled, my whole being getting this body bliss, and tears just started flowing, and it gives me this zone of pain I was when I was a kid or something. And it was that memory which is there, which is out of that memory I'm making those decisions from long time, from 20 years of that, whatever that hard memory, which the painful memory, I'm making the decisions from that time to now, because I had that. So when I started getting excited for that, that's when my attention rose, and I could see what my body is going through when I was in that dark space, or when I was in that spot. And then it gets better and better and better and better, and you'll be like, all right. When that begins, you'll know, because everything turns off when you're in that zone. Everything turns off. In the things surrounding you, the people, the places, the movies, the TV, everything just turns off, and you'll come back to you. When that happens, I get excited. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna learn something new today, which is gonna build me stronger. So I hope this happens to you, and thank you for listening to me. I hope this video helps you. If you're in the dark zone, please be easy on yourself. Try to maintain it. This might be hard, but try to maintain a proper diet. Your magnesium levels, um, calcium levels, and the vitamins will deplete when you are in the dark zone. There's a magnesium, and it's a very common thing to deplete. Then we'll clench our body. So because there is no potassium will deplete, water will not be there. Remind yourself to, even though if you don't feel for having food at the time, please remind yourself to have good food. This will help you. This will definitely help you. Thank you so much.